Morning, I'm Jon Thelen. Today I'm Fish Ed. I'm up in Canada and we're out on a remote fly-in lake, and I'll tell you what, this is some of the funnest and greatest fishing you can ever go do. We're walleye fishing today and we're using K Air Service. They flew us into this little lake this morning, one of their outpost camp lakes, and I'll tell you what, you're about to see some phenomenal fishing. Stay right where you're at. Fish Ed's coming up. There they are. Here we go. Boy, they are just piled up here right on this drop. It drops from, there's one right, ooh, I missed him. That one hit it right while I dropped it down. Should be another one there with him if he didn't tear my plastic backwards here on the jig head. There he is. Oh, let's do a quick check here and see what he did to me. Oh no, we're okay. There are just a ton of fish right here on this break. You know, I think that's what's so neat about a lot of these. There he is right there. I missed him. These fly-in lakes, you know, they're pretty doggone predictable. There he is, got him that time. And when I say predictable, what I mean is these fish, they'll just set up on a shoreline break, and you know, some of these little lakes will have some mid-lake structure, but for the most part, you're fishing shoreline breaks, and that makes it really easy. Boy, there's, ooh, this is a good eye too. This is a really nice one. Look at this one. This is the other thing that I think is so cool about these fly-in adventures is the variety of fish you catch. I mean, here's a bigger fish right here. And you're gonna see today, I mean, we're gonna catch eater-sized fish. We're gonna catch bigger fish. He got himself unhooked for me. What a great eye that one is. That's just awesome. But we're gonna catch a whole variety of fish throughout the day today, and man, they're willing participants. But like I was saying, I think one of the coolest things is the fact that you can set up on these shoreline breaks. This is the first spot I went to. I mean, I just picked shoreline and started drifting down with a little bit of wind coming across it. I mean, it's pretty automatic. Once I drove up, I could see on the sonar, as soon as I came up here, I was seeing fish right on that break, right where it drops down from about 10 feet and rolls down into that neighborhood of 17 feet. That's where the next little flat area is. So I'm pretty confident there's gonna be fish stacked up between there all day. And we'll fish all those steps. I'll fish that ledge right there, and I'm just gonna work backwards along this thing and work my jig and see if we can't just keep on picking on them. There he is. Boy, I just dropped it down out here in deep water. Kind of slid out after catching that last fish, and I just dropped this one down out here in really deep water, thinking, well, you know, we'll just see what's out here. I mean, I'm talking 23 feet I was when I dropped this one. Look at that, another good eye. What's that tell you, man? They're just stacked up everywhere. I mean, they're just everywhere in here. Look at that, great jig fish. Man, that's awesome right there. Let me show you what I'm using here, because it's a really simple deal, man. That's just a 3/8 ounce Lindy jig, and I'm just using a Yum walleye grub on there. But here's what's really cool about this Lindy jig is it's got a clean line tie every time. So when you tie on a new jig, you're gonna be able to just tie it on there. You're never gonna have to dig paint out of that eye. I mean, it's all good to go. You got a really high quality hook as well. I mean, I'm gonna fish that same jig all day. Unless I get bit off by a toothy critter, there ain't gonna be no reason to change. That hook's gonna stay sharp and it's gonna stay solid. One other thing though I wanna talk about, when I'm choosing my jigs, you know, no matter where I'm fishing, you know, I can be here in a little boat on a fly-in trip, or I can be at home somewhere jigging. It doesn't make any difference. I always go with the heaviest jig that I can, and here's why I do that. You know, when I'm pitching a shoreline, I might go with the lightest jig I can, but when I'm vertically jigging, I'm always as heavy as I can be, and I do that because I'm in constant bottom contact. Plus, every time I adjust this boat, and the speed comes up a little bit, I can stay in bottom contact, and I don't give up that opportunity to catch fish because all of a sudden it pulls up out of the strike zone. So I think that's really important, and that's one of the reasons I always start with a heavier jig. You know, this 3/8 ounce for what I'm doing here today is absolutely perfect. You can get by with an 1/8, but every time you move the boat, you're gonna lift up out of that strike zone a little bit. That's why I start with that heavier jig. There he is. Saw that fish. I was just flipping out to the side a little bit. This feels like a pretty good one too. They're all good. This is a bigger fish though. You know, but I didn't see anything there for a second, so I just kind of flipped out to the side. Boy, this is a good fish here. This might be one of the better fish I've seen today. Oh, it is. It's a big fish. That's one of the neat things about these fly-ins too, or just another one of the neat things is the variety of fish. I mean, you're gonna catch everything under the sun, from little walleyes to big walleyes to pike. This is a big fish. Love fighting a fish on a jig rod. Yeah, it's a walleye. Oh yeah, big eye. Look at this one. Wow. This is really cool. Look at that one. This one's a giant. Holy smokes. This is a giant fish right here. Let me show him to you. And then we'll get him right back in the water. Ooh, look at that. She even got herself unhooked right in the net. Look at that walleye. Man, that is an awesome fish. Man, is that cool. We're gonna get that fish out of here right away. And then you know what we'll do? Let me tell you a little bit about where I'm at today and how I got here. Every year now, I come up here with my son Nate. We do a fishing trip each year, and it's one of those neat things where we've started a tradition, and I think those things are so important. And I think that's the really neat thing, is the ability to go out and do these family type get-togethers around some phenomenal fishing. But we come up to K Air Service each year. He's got a couple cabins on the mainland right on Lac Seul, and we fish Lac Seul a little bit too, and I mean, that's dynamite fishing in itself. But then Peter's also got 3 different fly-in camps, and you can go out to Casumet. I've been out there before. You can go to Saddle Lake, or you can go to Birch. But here's the really neat thing about these cabins. They all have solar water heaters and such, so you're able to have a hot water shower. You've got lights. You know, it's not like you're roughing it like what we used to think of on Canadian fly-in trips. I mean, they drop you in, they come in, they check on you periodically throughout the week, bring you ice, bring you whatever you need. There's gas grills, there's fish cookers. I mean, everything you could ask for. They're awesome fly-in camps, and it gives you the chance to get out there and be alone. I mean, there's something about it. You know, when we flew in this morning, I was just thinking to myself about how the fact you're really alone. It's just you in the wilderness and the walleyes and whatever, you know, your buddies or the family. And I think there's something really cool about that. So if this isn't something you've done, I would urge you to take a look at doing something like this, because it's that important to me. And you know, that I get out and do it every year and bring the family up and man, it'll be the time of your life. I mean, it's just awesome. Look up K Air Service. They're right in Ear Falls, Ontario. I mean, for me, it was a 10-hour drive from the Twin Cities, and you can come right in on tar roads all the way. And then from there, you can fish Lac Seul, or you can fly out to one of these great camps. There he is, got him. Ooh, feels like a good one too. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a good fish. They're all good, but yep, another great eye. Wow. Look at that one. Man, they're pretty up here too. I don't know that if there's anywhere else in the world where you get them as golden as they are up here in Canada. Some of these fly-in lakes, you know, I mean, the water's a little stained. It's, you know, these fish are just darker. What a pretty fish. If you've never done one of these things, one of these fly-ins or a Canada trip, you need to do it, because I'll tell you what, you're missing out on something really, really cool. We're gonna put Peter and Karen's information and K-Air Service at the bottom of the screen, and give them a call. I'll tell you what, it's where I choose to come. It's where I bring my family. It's where I bring my buddies. And we come up here, and there's so many different options between all the fly-in camps, the mainland camp, whatever it is you want to do. It's great fishing. Pick up a pile of Lindy jigs and come on up here, bring some plastics. I'll tell you what, you can catch them. You can catch them any way you want to catch them. You want to troll crankbaits, troll some cranks. You want to pull little guys, spinners, you can do that. You want to jig them, you can jig them. It's pretty easy fishing, and it's an awful lot of fun. Get up here and give this a shot. If you don't, you're really missing out on something.